Everybody for being here for the annual developer meeting. On stage with me is my wife, Green, who I think you all know. Jesus Olmos, our general director, and a special guest with us today, Ms. Stephanie Summers. Following the meeting, we'll have a presentation for about 15 minutes with a new proposed internet provider, Cumbre. And the fellow here, Mr. Rodrigo Soto, is one of the owners, and he'll be making that presentation to us. And this is because we really have had difficulty with Telnor getting the upgraded service done. The supervisor saw the presentation yesterday and thought it would be good for me to have it shown here at the meeting today. And then right after that 15 minutes, I'm going to ask for the patience of the non-electrified owners to stay so we can kind of give you a continued brief update, which I think you'll be happy with. Let me speak for a minute about the financing update. Since our last meeting in April, we've been able to move forward with an investor, and as you all know, it's taken me, we settled with Textron now 2 years ago with our final settlement. We've been working very hard to find an investor. I think we finally found one that can provide for us the necessary funding to meet our obligations and take the ranch to the next level. I'm happy to see that I believe we have a real strategic partner in this investor. I have signed a joint venture agreement with their company, Summers & Company. And under the joint venture agreement, there are certain milestones that will be met by the investor, at which time I'll transfer half of the ownership to the ranch to their companies. The first milestone is that there is to be a payment, an initial payment on or about the 10th of November, and that will begin to take care of immediate needs such as the electrical infrastructure, the completion of the sewer treatment plant. There are two other significant payments that will be made, one in late November and one in late December, and those payments will be adequate to take care of all the outstanding obligations of the company. There is a promissory note in place and an escrow account and a national escrow account. It's obviously been a long road to get where we are now, but I do believe that this group will be able to take Eldorado Ranch to the next level. So with that, I would like to introduce to you Ms. Stephanie Summers. She's the president of Summers & Companies. And I want to ask Stephanie to give a little bit of her background and why Summers & Companies is making the investment in Eldorado Ranch and in San Felipe. Also today with Stephanie is her father, Dr. Timothy Summers, and Ted Blaquette, who is the president of Watermark Construction, the Summers company that does construction for the Summers Group. I can just tell you that the time that Doreen and I have had a chance to spend with Stephanie has been, very revealing. She's from the southeast part of the country, the United States. Her family has been very recognized for their entrepreneurial business activities, and Stephanie's been recognized as one of the leading businesswomen in the southeast of the United States. So with that, Stephanie, I would like to hand you the microphone and let you say hello to the folks.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you, Pat. It is a pleasure to be here at the ranch and to speak with you this morning. These are very exciting times for the ranch and for its employees, for the HOA members, the residents, the ranch, prospective new customers, partners, and for San Felipe. And I'm very excited to be involved. I am Stephanie Summers, Chairman, President, and CEO of the Summers Companies. Summers Companies is a global conglomerate holding 15 companies involved in various industries located in 6 countries with asset values that exceed $2 billion. And we are happy to be partnering with the El Dorado Ranch. Recently, Summers entered into a joint venture partner with Pat, and as our charter states, we offer help to our joint venture partners when they have problems that they cannot solve for themselves. As a result, Summers is offering to help with some specific problems that include the adjustments of debt, maximizing the use of existing funds on hand, improving management policies and procedures, and preventing insolvency, completing construction on electrical and water infrastructure, and implementing a design, finance, build program for condominiums and home construction. Recently, Summers and the ranch companies entered into a joint venture agreement for the recapitalization, refinancing, and operating of the ranch. So we are here now this week to start construction on infrastructure, to begin construction again on the condominiums, to meet with you and to meet with Pat, to receive the approval to take specific actions to give the ranch full protection against its creditors, and to actually implement the recapitalization and refinancing plan to make sure that the current financial situation never happens again. Over the last 2 months, Summers Companies has had a chance to conduct an in-depth look at the ranch's obligations, and Summers wishes to direct Pat to achieve settlements with every creditor group that it has. And as a result, we would like for the successive settlements to accompany successive plans. The plan that Summers is requesting the ranch to confirm contemplates a complete restructuring of the ranch's debt and internal problems. The ranch will settle every major creditor group, complete infrastructure construction, and the results will be expected that the ranch will add hundreds of millions of dollars to eliminate all outstanding liabilities. Upon execution of this, the ranch will develop its own bank, kind of a land bank, that will provide securities to obtain other funding to meet your needs and the financial needs of the ranch. The plan also contemplates post-reposition financial oversight to ensure that the fiscal contingencies that resulted in the ranch's past never happens again. Summers' plan calls for the implementation of a grand bargain to settle a financial review commission to review the ranch's finances and budgets, and to ensure that the ranch adheres to the plan and continues to implement needed financial and operational reforms. EDR Finance, which will operate as the ranch's bank, will establish a financial fund that will create investment committees whose role will be to make recommendations and to approve certain actions by the respective system's board of trustees. It should be noted that because the ranch's recapitalization and refinance plans are protected by Summers' articles of incorporation, its resolution and guarantees, including personal guarantees, that Summers may be obligated to pay all or a portion of the ranch's liabilities. And Summers' obligation is not interested in reversing that responsibility. Thus, the accrued assets of Summers and its subsidiaries and its organization as a whole as a contractual obligation to the ranch that shall not be diminished or impaired. In an effort to offset such risk, Summers Companies has agreed to invest the required amount, which runs into millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and to pursue a CMS system that will allow the EDR Finance to establish a stabilization fund. Summers Companies will also provide personal guarantees for the EDR Finance and for the stabilization fund debts. We've also developed a marketing plan that will exploit the fact that the El Dorado Ranch is a 25-year-old company branded in California, Arizona, and Mexico. The plan includes increasing the sales of homes to homeowners, such as yourself, who are seeking a safe, beautiful community to live, to relax, and for vacation, without the worries of urban life and the fast-paced activities. This plan also includes the development of an existing relationship with the Mexican government and to expand the ranch properties to increase your overall living experience. I thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. I look forward to speaking with you all further at the other HOA meetings when we can go into further detail about any specific requested activities that we may seek your approval for. Thank you.
I mean, it is very exciting, and with all that really being said, you can see I got a new boss. I got one on both sides of me now, you know? Not much room to slip up. So anyway, thank you again, Stephanie, and I'm glad that Dad, Tim's here, and Ted, welcome guys. Ted's here because he does head up the construction company, and we have worked over the last 6-8 weeks with all the electrical contractors and the sewer treatment plant contractor, and we have all the bids in. We had an open bid session yesterday. Ted's going to be here to get the final contract signed and get everything organized to get these guys underway with construction. So, again, welcome guys, and thank you for being here. So as Stephanie just stated, we're going to begin the electrical infrastructure and the completion of the sewer treatment plant. The contractors, as I said, will get a firm contract and be totally engaged before the end of this next week. Ted, that's what Ted will take care of the very beginning of next week. Like I said, we already have all the bids, and they're going to make a decision as to who the contract awards go to over the weekend. So we expect the time frame to complete all this work will be within 4 to 6 months. Again, the second and third fundings by the Summers companies will put us in a position to complete our condominium project and the roads here in La Ventana del Mar and get everything back up and running at the ranch, including a new marketing program so that we can begin to grow again. Obviously, as we grow, the HOA grows, the income to the HOA grows, and it becomes healthier. And through this downturn, obviously, we've had diminishment and loss of homeowners with hardship cases, and so we need to get rebuilding again. So some of you have seen signs here in La Ventana del Mar with lots where we've got flags on them that were placed there by the Mexican taxing authority. These signs represent lots that are delinquent in property taxes, obligations, and the failure to get the taxes paid will result in these lots going to auction. So, as you guys know, the worldwide situation with oil, which is Mexico's main income driver, with the barrel price at where it is, Mexico is really, all the governors in Mexico have orders to secure every tax dollar they can possibly secure. Property tax is something they've never done too much about. They've let them become delinquent, but now their game is going to change a little bit. So we became very proactive and started calling all the owners that own the lots to advise them of the situation and the consequences. In some cases, the owners were unaware of the tax bill and they remedied the situation. In other cases, some of the owners have decided to give the lot back to the company because they say they just can't afford and their situation's changed, and so they've given the lot up. In these cases, the ranch will work directly with Mexicali on getting the taxes paid. Also, as most of you know, I think all of you know, that in Mexico, unlike the United States, the annual tax bills are not sent to the owners. The Mexicans know this from birth, but we, the foreigners, don't. The taxes are due in January and they're delinquent after March. And as you guys know, we used to help by sending the tax bills out, but Mexicali stopped that once they thought they were totally automated. So a lot of our owners just don't know that their property tax is due. There are instructions on how to pay the taxes on the HOA website. They're very clear. And the other thing that people can do is to call our collections department run by Connie Estrada. So they did a, thank you. Congratulations to the HOA staff and the supervisors. I think they did a great job with working through that budget process this year. As many of you know, about 2 years ago, we had an investigation of why we were having so many pipe leaks in the condos. We found out that the manufacturer, Nibco, which is an Indiana company about 60 years old, had some other outstanding lawsuits regarding defective pipe. So we hired an attorney and we began to make a claim against Nibco. And when I say that, you know, we found out about these pipe leaks, they're really very intermittent, they're hard to detect. It's a flexible piping system. And finally, we had so many repairs we had to make. I told Doreen one time, and I talked to Classic Pacific about it, and of course they went out of business, but they weren't very helpful. I finally got Doreen to do a lot of research for me, and she found some complaints on this Nibco company and the flexible piping, and it's which we were using. So when we filed a claim against Nibco, they sent their specialists and experts to do an independent inspection. We hired an expert on our side to do the same thing, and the lady that came down and spent about 10 days with her assistant here found out that the pipe was indeed defective. She wrote a very strong report. We were scheduled to have a mediation conference in June with the manufacturer Nibco, but they decided against that. And so then we instructed our attorney to go ahead and file a formal complaint. And the attorney's confident it will prevail, but it's going to take a little more time. And you never know, in the middle of these deals, they might decide to go ahead and have a settlement conference again. But right now, we've asked for a jury trial, and because we think a ton of evidence that proves that the pipe is defective. And our plan is to go ahead and get a settlement and replace all the pipe that are in the condos that are affected. In January, we began a mailing to all the owners about the master trust to advise them that HSBC will no longer be servicing the master trust and that the master trust had to be moved to another bank, and we moved them to Banco Inmobiliaria Mexicana. Almost 3,000 owners were mailed, and to date we've processed 336 final beneficiary certificates, and there are another 218 that are in process. Many of them were returned to the bank due to having incomplete information. So we encourage everybody that hasn't completed the process for your master trust certificate to please do so, because the master trust certificate is really your proof of legal ownership of the lot. In the case of individual trust, for those that are processing or getting ready to process the individual trust, We did have an outstanding issue with the state water company, CESP. That's all been settled. So the only thing that's holding up individual trust, I'm going to say especially on this side of the highway, the golf course side, is the Banco Mobley area. You know, these guys are, because they're a trust department, they got to be very thorough. They feel they're missing some paperwork on the original purchase of some of the land here in La Ventana del Mar. Our people are providing that to them. That should be fixed up very quickly. And so anyone that has questions regarding either the master trust or the individual trust, I'd ask you if you would email Doreen directly, and just do it at pbutler@eldoradoranch.com, and she'll communicate the information with the trust department and communicate back to you. Let me just speak for a minute about where we are with Telnor. In 2015, when we realized that we were having, well, the residents were having some real problems with the internet service, we called for meetings with Telnor, and between April and October of 2015, there were 5 separate meetings here at the ranch with Telnor regarding the upgrading of the WiMAX system to establish dependable internet service for El Dorado Ranch. On June 18th of 2015, we had 3 technical reps from Telnor that were here, and the Telnor area manager, and at that point they agreed that had not been able to obtain satisfactory operational performance with the WiMAX system. So Telnor told our El Dorado management and some of the supervisors that attended these meetings that they were going to change the WiMAX system to Cambium, and that the Cambium system had already been approved for purchase and had a purchase order, and that the change of the system had been funded internally within Telnor. This change was supposed to begin, the installation was supposed to begin in June of 2016. It didn't happen, and in late September, Telnor contacted El Dorado management to tell us at a company-wide Telmax meeting in Tijuana, which was an annual meeting, and they announced that all capital spending projects were canceled. So that's what we said, oh shit. So obviously we can't run a community without internet. So anyway, I sent a letter to Hector Slim Slade, who is the Chief Executive Officer. This is Carlos Slim's son. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Telmax, explaining our situation and referring to our contract that was signed on October 12th of 2001. In that contract, El Dorado reached an agreement to co-invest in a Lucid technology switch with Telnor, which we did. And we gave them the land and the top to build the tower. In the agreement, Telnor guaranteed to make all the functional lines that were required for future demand, and they promised with that initial investment they would continue to provide a reliable service. So in my letter, I asked Telnor to perform according to their contract, and in the meantime, recently we received an inquiry and have had some meetings with a new group called Cumbre, headed up by Mr. Rodrigo Soto Espinoza, who's here today. He's the Director of Business and Innovation for Cumbre, and he's here to explain to us how they would like to provide a service package to every home in El Dorado and La Ventana to include high-speed internet with 20 megabytes, unlimited phone service to the US and Canada, and TV services including movies, sports, and entertainment through a fiber optic technology for a cost of $365 per installation, and then $79 a month as an alternative. They're willing to make the initial, and if it was 100% fiber we were installing, the price would be $4.7 million. They're going to do a combination of an air fiber system, which is a new but proven technology, and that's going to cost about $1.7 million. They'll make the initial investment. They're going to ask our residents to make the installation fee and then sign on for the $79 a month program. The service, phone service, like I said, is unlimited to the U.S. and Canada. So Rodrigo will make a presentation. He made two presentations, one to management of El Dorado, and then we had the supervisors watch the presentation recently the other day, and they decided that it would be worth the 15 minutes after this meeting to look at the presentation so you have some awareness of what they're offering. He's going to be here with service applications, and he's got additional information on the service. And he'll have a booth until Saturday afternoon outside the pavilion here. We've also allowed Rodrigo, I'm going to allow him to use the old off-site sales office at the top of on the mountainside of the road, which is directly across from the entry of La Ventana del Mar, where he can set up shop for a year. And he wants to put some tech people here. He sees a big opportunity with El Dorado. We're going to be an exclusive client with him right now. He's not going to be running all over the place doing other things. He knows the background and the situation with Telnor. Actually, he told me that, the issue with Telnor now is that because they no longer have a monopoly, and companies like his are able to establish themselves and go into business, that's one of the reasons Telnor decided to stop capital improvement investment. So anyway, we'll watch that presentation shortly after this. I want to make a comment just on the golf course. We did have a successful charity golf tournament last weekend. We had a full field. I did apologize to everybody for the general condition of some of the golf course. Unfortunately, this summer we had some problems with some of our wells, and it kind of resulted in an insufficient amount of water for our daily irrigation needs. The course needs over 1 million gallons a day for full coverage. With the loss of the down of a couple of our wells, we average about 600 to 700,000 gallons a day this summer. Our tees and greens are fine, but the fairways suffered some, and we lost some grass coverage. And I think you all know that what we use is a Seaborf Paspalum, which is a grass that takes high salinity water. The Paspalum grasses do that, and it eliminates the need to have to deplete fresh water supply for the city. Our wells are over 11 years old, and our new financing plan with Stephanie and Summers and Companies does provide for us to revamp the wells. We're going to redo the wells, rebuild the wells. We're going to revamp the course hole by hole, and we're going to get some additional equipment for maintenance, and possibly at the same time replace our cart fleet, which is also about 10 or 11 years old. We've already had a very well-known golf course contractor here, Sal Rodriguez, who was here to visit with us about a week ago, and he reviewed every hole. He's making that proposal for us right now, which we'll have probably within a week. Let me make a comment on the commercial fishing activities in town, which I know many of you are aware of. I'm very aware of it. About 2 years ago, President Peña Nieto came to San Felipe and announced down at the marina that there was going to be a ban on gill nets for 2 years in order to try to save the endangered species Vaquita, the baby porpoise, and to stop the illegal capturing of the tatuaba and the harvesting of the swim bladder, which is the bolchi, which is probably most of you guys know in the marketplace here. A kilo of bolchi fetches $5,000 here, and by the time it gets to China, it can get up to as much as $25,000. So it's became a black market activity. And so for the 2 years that the gill nets were banned, the fishermen were compensated with federal income of over $70 million. These payments end in April of 2017. Earlier this summer, President Obama and President Peña Nieto agreed to do more to save the vaquita, primarily because of pressure from the World Wildlife Associations. And they then decided to ban gill nets in the Sea of Cortez permanently. So this has caused the fishermen to feel like they've, in some cases, lost their livelihood. What they really want is the gill nets for the bulching. They could give a damn about the vaquita. Unfortunately, the vaquita is just happens, to get caught up in the gill nets, and we know the population of the vaquita is down to around 60 or less. And these vaquita, the baby porpoise, only reproduce, the female only gives birth to a calf every 2 years. So to regrow that population is a real challenge. The gill nets are made of silk, and that's what's been permanently banned because the endangered species of vaquita, the tatuaba, and the sea turtles can't escape the gill nets. What they are allowing is the fishermen to still use nylon nets, which the vaquita, tatuaba, and sea turtle can break through, and they can escape the nylon nets. We've asked, and I'm working on a position paper for this, along with a couple of other people in town, for the federal government and the state government to consider limited but very tightly controlled sports fishing licenses for tatuaba as one of the ways to help put the fishermen back to work. The tatuaba female can lay 1 million eggs a year. So if the population of the tatuaba is properly managed, we feel that we could have tatuaba here forever. And the fish meat is awesome, and it would give us an opportunity to create a white market for this bullsheet to sell to China. We have 2 direct flights a week from Tijuana to China, and our plan is kind of to create a white market and get at least 60% of the funds that would come from the sale of the bullsheet to use for infrastructure in San Felipe in town, for roads, schools, hospitals, kids programs, sports programs, drug addiction programs, but that there would be an independent board that would decide how that money would get spent every year, and it would be spent for the general needs of the population of San Felipe, instead of a black market where it goes into a limited number of pockets and the money leaves forever. And half of that money doesn't do anything but perpetuate more drug trade. So it's not real good for the youth of San Felipe. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Supervisory Committee for their hard work this year. Representing El Dorado is Steve Kemme, the President of the Supervisory Committee, and committee members Ed Jones and Bob Miller. On La Ventana Del Mar, committee representatives are Denise Levin and Hans Wilschutz. And the Las Villas committee here in La Ventana Del Mar, the committee representatives are Martha Rizak and Gary Lambert. We've all worked very hard together. These guys are very dedicated, and every month at the Supervisory Committee meeting, the administrators there, the HOA staffs there, Doreen and I are there, and those meetings last at least 6 hours. And we review the financial status of the HOA, the other needs of the HOA, and the input from those meetings has resulted in more timely and better to read financial statements. They've been able to increase the revenue by established HOA collection department. There was also been budget savings that were created by renegotiating the contract with Concord, and that was kind of a trade-off, but we did get some real savings there when we decided to do a better effort with our own collections department and reduce the scope of work from Concord. Also, the issue there, one of the things that came up that the HOA decided to fund was a conversion over in the pool area to get off of 100% electric to put some solar in. That project, I understand, is almost completed. There have been a reduction in the number of security incidents through the year, and they've also been able to implement some new procedures and policies that have kind of streamline things in the HOA organization. And I think it's running very efficiently right now, and I think the supervisors feel the same way. I'd like to encourage all the owners to sign up for the HOA website. It's www.eldoradoranchhoa.com.mex. They've added more items to enhance the site with pictures and information, and it allows the HOA to more effectively communicate with all the owners. We have had a pretty good increase in sign-ups there, so that's going along good, but could always be improved. Also, I'd like to recognize the HOA management team led by Roberto Islas, and the managers and employees, and the company managers led by Jesus Olmos, and the staff who have stood by me, Doreen, and the company through this long, tough road. And I would like to thank you as the owners for doing the same thing. And I thank you for your continued loyalty and dedication to El Dorado. Another just quick reminder, and I'll open up to the floor, but if you will remember that early registration will go on all day today for the HOA meetings over the next couple of days, and the registration, pre-registration will be in the HOA office. So at this time, I want to open the floor for questions that would pertain to the developer. Just a reminder that this is a semi-annual developer meeting, so any questions regarding the HOA, I would ask you to hold them for the HOA meeting or direct them directly to Roberto Islas and his staff. So thank you, those are my comments, and let me open the floor for questions. If you will you please come up to the microphone if you have questions? Thank you.
I'm Jack Lavin, and it's great to hear. This is all very good news. I am interested to know, it sounds like 4 to 6 months you're going to be definitely addressing the electrification, the condos, and the sewage treatment plant. Another thing that I consider very important are the roads we're supposed to have here in La Ventana Del Mar. And you mentioned that, but I wonder what kind of time schedule did you have in mind that you would address that issue? Because that's going to have a hell of a lot to do with the sales here in La Ventana Del Mar, to have paved streets and everything. And so that's my main concern, and congratulations on the progress.
Thank you, Jack. Jack, what we're going to do is we did get the bids for the underground electric and the sewer treatment plant, and those contracts will be let. We've got to do the same thing now with contractors for getting this construction back up and running for the condos. The roads are definitely involved in that. And as soon as we have a time frame, then we'll definitely communicate that to you. I'm expecting that, the goal would be, and you're right, it will definitely affect sales. So when they see shovels in the ground and roads being put in, it's got a positive effect. So I would think that we should be able to get roads completed in here with 8 to 9 months. I mean, along with the construction, finishing up the roads. I know some of you had some questions out there. Yes, sir.
I'm Milton Mansky, Montana Del Mar. My question is, does this mean that the golf course assessment goes away?
No, it's a really good question, and we'll have a really good answer for it. So, I'm thinking that, we can go a couple of ways with the golf course, and we're open to discussion about it. But of course, if the golf course assessment goes away, and I do appreciate the owners stepping up for that and helping me through that. It's definitely, if you don't know 100% of what that is, I think you do know what it is. So my boss just told me his golf course assessment will go away. just so you guys know, I mean, seriously, what it's gonna mean is that we will sell a golf course membership, and they'll be reasonably priced and all that, but everybody will go back to paying, you know, a normal seasonal golf course membership, which is a couple of grand a year, you know, for the golf.
The contract that we're under now, when this
The
runs out,
contract that we're under now runs out in 2017, but there may be something we do before then.
all right, thank you.
Good afternoon, Jim Stapleton, Palos Verdes South. Congratulations. Question on the municipality tax sales. Where can we receive more details so we know about them in terms of time, how you complete it, and then maybe this is not the right reading for that. What is the impact of HOA back dues on the same lots?
So Jim, I'm gonna let Jesus, I'm not sure what the timing and the whole structure is for that. But, I mean, we were a complete surprise when these guys came down and had paperwork and said, hey, we wanna put notices on these lots. And we kind of went into a little bit of a panic, and we finally figured out what that was and started a phone calling campaign the very next morning, notifying owners. But I'll let Jesus talk about the timing of that. As far as the HOA past dues, we're definitely working on that, but when we've called these folks for taxes, we've also reminded them of dues and told them they still have a delinquency program there. Fortunately, we've been able to collect some of that in both areas, but go ahead.
I guess specifically, if an auction is executed and there's a new owner, will the HOA be able to get back dues? Because now it's a different owner.
The question is yes. Yes, the question is yes. You know, I mean, the answer is yes. You know, because at the moment, you know, well, first of all, you know, let me explain a little bit, you know, about the property tax, you know, procedure, you know, with Mexicali office. As you know, San Felipe is a delegation of the municipality of Mexicali. And normally, you know, we have 3 months at the beginning of the year, you know, what the residents or the owners of property needs to pay the property tax. What we do with the authority and with the last administration of Jaime Diaz is to have some person and a cashier, you know, in the at the HOA office in order to collect the tax. In addition to that, you have the freedom to go to the Delegación Municipal here in San Felipe and pay the tax there, or to pay directly to Mexicali office, or to pay through the by internet with credit card. But anyway, you know, we have almost 3,000 residents in delinquency for property tax. That's the number of people that are not paying tax. Then and they own more or less 5 years of taxes. That's why, you know, now the authority are enforcing, you know, this collection process with the action. I mean, that's why you have these flags and the lots and all of that. You know, but what we are planning to do is, and I told Pat, you know, we need to go to the new administration. You know, the Jaime Diaz is going to be in this administration only in November. What we are waiting is just to wait for Gustavo Sanchez, who is going to be the next mayor in Mexicali on the 1st of December, and sit with him and make an arrangement, an acuerdo with him, I mean an agreement, that we need to see in detail and start whatever action, you know, on the lots. Why? Because if the owner wants to go back and be current, you know, the owner can have that opportunity. If not, we have the opportunity to get the lot and resell the lot. You know, but that's the plan, that's the purpose. Not even that, you know, if in an extreme case, you know, the authority put in action some lots, the new owner needs to be adjusted according with our CCRs.
And I think part of the question you didn't get answered was, if they auction it off, which we don't know what the procedure is yet, we're going to get that information from the new municipality president. At the GA meeting, you're going to vote to us to be able to take action against delinquent owners. When we've been working on this for, 3 years now, trying to foreclose, it doesn't work that easily in Mexico. So our attorney said the first thing we need to do is have the General Assembly vote by name, which is why the list was done this year, that they're the ones we can take action against. The older list that Cliff had done years ago was very small, and it wasn't as big as this one. And he said once he has that, then he can go back and try and enforce putting a lien on, just like the taxing authority does. That's kind of what we're looking to do versus a foreclosure. If the taxing authority can slap a lien, so can the HOA. And that's the procedure we're trying to put in place. And the attorney said, I need this vote first, and then he will proceed with that. That's the only thing that's going to make us be able to collect the dues, because our CC&Rs and the requirement to pay dues is recorded with the city of Mexicali. So it's a legal document recorded with the property. When you pull up the land in Mexicali, that document's right with it. So if they auction it off, any new owner has to pay their dues from that point forward. They're not going to pay the back dues. If the lot comes back to us, which it has been over the years, they are listed and we put them up for sale, and they show the back dues owed, and we collect it at the point of sale if we sell it, and we give that money to the HOA. That's how it seems to be best working so far. So if these taxing owners don't want to pay their bill and we get the lot back, there's a receivable amount when that lot sells that has to be part of the purchase price, so the HOA gets the back dues.
Thank you.
My name is Dana Barbo, and I live in Palo Verde South. Does this mean that a lot of those disastrous houses, torn up mobile homes, that kind of thing are going to be removed anytime soon?
Well, that's a good question, and it obviously belongs to the TRC, the Architectural Review Committee, and believe me, I know Stephanie and myself and all of you as owners would like to see everything on the ranch that is in that kind of condition removed. So I'm going to ask, Ed Jones sits on the TRC, I'm going to ask Ed and some of the other folks in here that might sit on the TRC to bring that question up to the TRC. I would like to see the TRC be able to be more active, proactive on remedying those situations too. Again, we get back to a big legal question as to what we can and can't do with owners. But if it's totally outside of our CC&Rs, I would think we should be able to take some pretty forceful action. But I appreciate you raising the question, and we'll communicate more with you about it. I will ask Ed to bring it up to the TRC. Doreen's taking notes. Everybody will get these within 24 hours, believe me. And that will be one of the notes in here. So thank you.
Ross Wilkin, I have properties on both sides of the ranch, and I'd like to first thank you, Mr. Butler, for hanging in there these last 9 years. We've all gone through the pain with you, believe me. It's been a hard time, but it's great. And Ms. Summers and companies, there's no way to express our sincere thank you and our sincere welcome to our community. We will show you what a terrific investment you've made, and I'm sure you will show us what a terrific company you are. Somewhat on that subject, I'd like to make a suggestion, if I may. We currently have many committees here on the ranch the majority of which were set up to handle issues. I'd like to suggest that we set up a new committee to handle opportunities, and that this committee be formed amongst residents that live here, that have a vested interest in the ranch, and that can meet with owners and management with suggestions on ways to make things better, on things that, ways to promote the ranch, things that we can personally do to help promote the ranch. And it's just kind of a good news sort of committee, but I think it's necessary, and I think it needs to be made up of people from both sides, because I think one of the issues of the ranch is there's a somewhat of a division, and I think now there's a great opportunity to mend whatever divisions there is there, and perhaps eliminate them altogether. And I think by having a committee that exists of both sides, because currently the committees are kind of one side or the other, I think all that would be helpful, so I'm just making that suggestion. Then I have a question. This may be HOA related or it may be developer related, I don't know, which is why I have the question. But there's a cable being laid out on the main streets on the other side, going from east to west, and it's really exciting to see them lay this thing, but I have no idea, what it is.
Is Jesus Velarde still over there? Correct me if I'm wrong, Jesus. Remember when we had some stolen wires from the communities, the copper was stolen? This is CFE replacing those cables.
Oh, okay, so it's a CFE thing.
And he just agreed, he just said that was correct.
Okay.
Somebody else already asked me that question and I got the answer for him.
Thank you very much, and again, our welcome. Very good.
Thank you, Rob. Rose, I think the recommendation about having a growth committee or a opportunity committee, and that's how Doreen labeled it in her notes, is a great idea, and I appreciate that, and I think that's something we definitely we can act on. So, unfortunately, we did have some cable robberies, as you guys all know. They didn't just happen here. We haven't had any recently, thank God. But they did happen all around San Francisco. Actually, it became a massive problem for all of Mexico. And CFB finally recognized that. And of course, once they accept the infrastructure, they're the ones responsible for replacing it because it belongs to them. It doesn't belong to the ranch anymore. So I say it's fortunate because, even though budgets and money is tight in Mexico, also, that we were able to get the CFE guys to come out and replace it all, which is a great thing, because now when the new contractors start to work, at least we're not going to be missing links of cable in certain areas and stuff. So, but that's what's going on there. Jim?
One more question. Looking back at my notes and then looking back over 6 years, congratulations on getting someone up to the table to work with you. But I noticed some of these dates are a week or a couple weeks away. Is
this a done deal? It works.
It's only because I look back through 6 years of notes. And these are future dates, and although they're a week away or a few weeks away, what's the chance it's not going to happen this summer?
Well, it's not going to happen. First, I'll say my company has been very much entrenched in the development of the recapitalization and refinancing plan for the last 2 months. We're just now having an opportunity to speak with you all about it, but we've actually been involved for the last 2 months. The infrastructure construction activities we've been involved in for about the last 4 weeks. The bidding process that took place yesterday, we orchestrated that. The bidding process, well actually we're not even using the bidding process for the water treatment facility. We actually have already been in conversation with that company and are moving forward for actually both the contracts for both the water sewer, the water sewer and the electrical infrastructure contracts will be in place probably Monday or Tuesday of next week, but we've been working on those for the last couple of weeks. The restart of construction for the condominiums we've been working on for about the last 4 weeks. So a lot of the things that are involved in our involvement have been taking place over the last 2 months. And if you'll remember from the conversation that I just had with you, was that there's no backing out for us. We're kind of too far along. So the additional capital that's to be scheduled to come down next week is already in place, and unless Pat does something terrible to me or Jesus do something terrible to me before I leave, I can't stop it. So I'm here to stay.
Jim, I do appreciate your question, because I have had, and you all know that I have had on 2 other occasions at annual meetings, people that had signed contracts with us that didn't get to the closing table, that didn't raise the capital to perform. I think we're in a completely different situation with Stephanie, and one of the reasons I feel that way is because of the depth of the due diligence that they've done. Their whole team has really dug into this company, and we have over 10,000 pages of documentation on our data site, and which her group has read about all of. On her way down here yesterday, and at 6 o'clock this morning, I got a 19-page memorandum from her that I need to work on with her after this meeting. So she is very deeply into it, and I do feel, as I said, a very high level of confidence with Stephanie and the Summers Company. So I think we have a winner and an angel. And I'm certainly, looking forward to moving forward with them. And I'm not even going to say it's going to be a disappointment, because there's not going to be a disappointment in this deal. So, Doreen asked Stephanie the question the last time she was here in the car going up to the airport. We drove her back to the airport so she could take her flight home. And so Doreen asked a very similar question to what Jim asked. And Stephanie looked at Doreen and said, Doreen, unless I find out that Pat's into drug dealing or something like that, we're going forward with the deal. So I feel good about the commitment. I do appreciate the question and her response. So with that, if there are no more questions, Rodrigo, can we have you do the internet presentation? Is Rodrigo here? Okay, he's, I think, next door. Everybody wants to take a 1-minute, 2-minute tea break or something.
Soto, I'm from Mexicali. I have been working in projects down in Vegas, LA, and I'm back in my hometown, Mexicali, since 2012. And we came here to bring solutions for the internet and for the other services that you have right now. So we spoke to the people here at the ranch, and we made a study in the past weeks or so with the blueprints, with the terrain, and studying the system that you already have with Telnor to see what's the issue and how we can solve it. So we brought 3 solutions, and that's what we're going to talk about. We spoke yesterday to the council, or to the supervisors, And we end up saying that they want to go ahead, they want your opinion. Our proposal is to come here, open an office here, be here for you guys, and pretty much work here. And to have a response time, an effective response time for any kind of issue, trouble that you're gonna have. We are gonna be, we're planning to be across the main entrance here at the office that it's right now empty. So we're gonna fix it, we're gonna get it ready, up and running in the next weeks or so. We're planning after 1 year buying and building pretty much a new brand office and services. So we'll be placing our infrastructure across the street. And for today, till we move to the office, I think we're gonna be here and at the other main office that is in the entrance. So I'm gonna talk about this presentation. If you have, we can go along questions, but what I can tell you is that we're gonna talk about 3 solutions. One is fiber optic, one is air fiber, the cost of infrastructure, and the third option where we put in the infrastructure to make it happen in the next less than 60 days, we can be operating here. So I'm gonna have a seat to go along the presentation. If we go back, our company is Cumbre Group. We founded our company back in 2010. It's a family business. This is one of the owners, my mother, Magda Espinosa. She came here along to see how we're growing and how we're doing. So she's here to support. So going back to the presentation, this is the information that we have. How having access to high-speed internet affects your home price, your real estate. Actually, this is a study from the University of Colorado, and they're seeing a 2, 3, 4, up to 5% increase on the price just because you have access to high-speed internet. And based on this location, you will be the only development that are going to have this kind of access. Not even in Mexicali, we have fiber optic. We are getting fiber optic along main streets and so on, but it's going to take another 10, 20 years. So all the city has fiber optic. Even though in San Diego and those big cities, they don't have all fiber optics. You're seeing companies like Google Fiber, right now they're installing fiber because that's the way of going for the data demands for nowadays. So I'm just gonna be briefly. You can access this presentation in our website. I'll give it to you on the last page, and you can download it as well. So here are the 5 reasons why go with fiber optic. I'm just gonna go briefly. Again, question, just raise your hand and I can answer. Pardon me? CUMBRE group. Cumbre means top of the mountain. Everybody asks me, and they're like, what's Cumbre? So, going along with the fiber, 5 reasons why IT pros choose fiber optic. We have fiber optic transmission is faster. Fiber optic cable does not break as easily. Light cannot catch on fire. Fiber optic cables are impervious to electromagnetic interference. Here is a map of El Dorado Ranch. We're talking about the whole, I guess, 6,000 lots here. This is La Ventana. Again, we came with our tech people and pretty much revised the terrain and the blueprint. Not only here, all the way from Mexicali. Our fiber optic or data provider is not Telnor or Telmex. It's a US company who crosses from Mexicali and Chihuahua, and they go all the way down to Mexico City. So we're relying into that service. Right now, they only provide service to to businesses, pretty much a direct connection to business. In Mexicali, like hospitals, maquiladoras, and you know the big industry down in Mexicali along the maquilas. So here is the first option, fiber optic. Let's say we install fiber optic from the ground all the way to your house. We're talking about more than 200 kilometers. And that will take us from 8 months to 12 months. It has an infrastructure cost of closely $4 or $5 million. And we will have to install underground piping and the fiber optic. And the installation cost is the cost of the equipment that you need on your endpoint or at your house, so you can access this service. So pretty much that is the cost for the infrastructure if we go with the fiber optic. The second option is called Air Fiber. This company, or the company that we're using, it was founded from people who work at Motorola. It has a lot of success here not only Mexico, around the world, for the past 8 years. So what happens here is that we get the fiber optic, the straight fiber optic connection. We go straight to the signal and we send it over a dedicated service. So we go fiber into fiber and down straight to your home. So we don't have any copper in between. And this is a dedicated service. We're going to talk about what it's not a dedicated service and a dedicated service. This is a map that we trace along Mexicali. So we are receiving data across the border underground with this company, and we have to send it over straight here to El Dorado. And those are the antennas that we may use. We're looking also for another option, but we already have these ones set up. This is the cost of air fiber against fiber optic. If the entire cost to come from Mexicali here, we're talking about $1,650,000. We break the prices into, divide the cost into the residents. Let's say that all 6,000 sold lots say yes. We're talking about $275. And we went down to only 1,000 people saying yes, we want it. That would be the cost divided into 1,000 people, $1,650,000. And sorry, $1,650. So this will be our second option, the air fiber. Here it's a part of understanding the difference between best effort, that is the service that you have right now, meaning that you share the data, pool the data with your neighbor and with the people connected into the whole system. Let's say that your neighbor is watching Netflix, he's Skyping, he's FaceTiming, he's using, he's pretty much hooked up in there. Pardon? Yes, exactly. They're not paying attention to that amount. And your neighbor is gonna suffer. He wants to send an email. He's not gonna be able not even to turn on the computer. So this is why a dedicated service, the one that we're trying to bring, right now it's only focused to businesses. Why? Because they need a strong 24/7 connection. Imagine a hospital, imagine a bank, imagine a gas station. So that's where we come in. And right now, because of the telecommunication reforms in Mexico, it allows a small company like us to have a contract and concession and buy from the big guys. They have to sell. A few years ago, it was impossible. It was only Telmex. So now we know why that company it's so huge and it's pretty much a monopoly. And right now, these companies coming from US selling data here, and we as a small company are able to do it. We have to go through processes, licensing, and etc. But it's finally open. So that's why allows us to come here and do the service. So going back to between best effort and dedicated service. This is a chart where conventional cable DSL it's with the best effort. As you can see, you are the blue part section of the circle. With your, let's say, your whole internet, you have 10 megabytes per second or 20 or 100, whatever it's the data bandwidth that you have. Why? Because you're sharing with the whole system, and that's how set up Telmex, the whole system, and it's impossible for them to change it because they will have to change everything. And or invest $4 or $5 million into fiber optic or $2 million into another service. So return of investment for them is not working for them. So we go down to the dedicated services. You can see now you become 100% with your data. If you have 1 megabyte per second or 10 or 20, you're gonna have that. And not only that, you have it to download and to upload. Right now with Telmex, you can upload, I don't know, if you're lucky, 1 mega, I don't know. I'm having the same issue, that's why it will push us to bring the services and humanize the services. No contracts, no, I mean, you don't like the service, you can sign off, but we're gonna talk about that later on. So, I'm being briefly, again, you can download this presentation so you can read pretty much everything from our website. I know you have an agenda, so I just want to go quick. Any questions at this point with the differences? Yes, sir.
This wouldn't be about the difference. It was a question overall. Should I wait for that? Are you done with your part?
If you want, go ahead.
Well, you just used the word investing, like that $1.6 million for the air fiber.
Yes.
But the slide before, if I understood it right, you were talking about if there were 1,000 people, that it's $1,600 and something each.
Yes.
That sounds like we're the ones investing, not you.
Yes. Well, we're talking about this second option, and then we're going to talk about the third option. That's the.
Okay, that's what I was.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
So this is, it took us financial engineering, tech people thinking about how we can make it happen, where we can work along. So the answer is escalating. We thought about going, having the service for 2,000, 6,000 people, but we thought if we make the investment, how we can have a return of investment at least in 5 years. So we end up by escalating the services by groups of 100 people. That's how we're gonna escalate it. From Mexicali, the tower, all the way here, and along the installations. So these three options, no infrastructure cost for resident, $365 installation fee, $75 per month. You get high-speed internet. Pretty much, we're gonna customize your service. We're gonna go to your house and see what do you use. What do you need? So we're gonna adjust it to your needs. You're never going to run or need or be stuck into the service. That's why we're gonna be here. So we want to see every single needs that everybody, that you have in your house, and we want to solve it. So with this fee, we get you high-speed internet, we get you a US phone number, unlimited calling, mobile and landlines, and we have a stream box where you can access media. That's from a provider that we have. So you have TV entertainment, where you have live TV, US and Mexican content, the sports, movies, series, kids stuff, and actually we brought a demo, a sample that is over here. You can see that's just the TV, and the one at the top, that's the box, the stream box. Right now it's on, and we're gonna be demoing the content and the pretty much how it works here. We're gonna have another one down in the office. But again, this is just one of the services that we can bring along having the internet, a strong, dedicated internet. And why are you paying the installation fee? Because we're bringing the team people, first of all, to talk to you, to see what are your needs. Then they're gonna install a small antenna. I think it's about 12 inches. And how high? We were talking about that yesterday. We're gonna see between 4 or 5 feet down to 1 foot, because we're gonna have the main antenna at the office. So we're gonna talk to them and to the architect here that is in charge to talk to our tech people, so we can go the lowest that we can go, so you're not even to see the antennas on your roof. And with this, we're installing the modem, we're giving you the stream box, we are setting up and teaching you how to use the system, and any questions that you have along the service. We're gonna dedicate that time, not only sending a guy to install. No, he's gonna go there, install, and explain you any questions that you have regardless of the service. And with any issues or anything you have, you can just give us a call, you can come by the office, you can send us an email. So we're open to pretty much all existing channels for communication. Yes, sir.
So if I give you $365, you're gonna come, if I give you $600 or $365, you're gonna come out to my house, show me how to use it, and then for $79 a month, no matter how many, no matter what I have at my house, internet, TV, it's all going to be for $79 a month?
Yes, the whole system, the one that we're going to install. Yes.
That's going to cover the TV, the computers, everything?
That's going to cover the box as well. And since we are kind of leasing the equipment, I think it's best for the resident, because we can upgrade every year or so, tech and changing. And we don't want to sell you the same stuff every year and say, hey sir, you need to buy the new technology and the new modem and the new box. No. From this fee, we're gonna renew the equipment at least every year, every 2 years, as long as we see that we have new access to new technology. We'll be replacing modems and routers and the smart box.
Is that $79 a month to pay as you go?
Yes.
It is. We're here for 5 months out of the year, so
yes,
we pay you $79 a month for 5 months leave, and then when we come back, we start up again?
Sure. I mean, there's the contracts. We have a 30-day money-back warranty. If you don't like the service, you don't sign off, you don't like it. For the first month, we refund you your full $365 plus your $79 in full refund.
No, I mean, I only want to use it 5 months out of the year. Is that
That's
possible?
fine. You can pay as you go. You can have a monthly billing. We pretty much on our website are up and running. We take credit cards and payments. Even though in OXXO, you can set up your account and won't pay in OXXO if you don't want to use your... Yes.
Without stopping, so that you're not paying $79 when you're not living.
Yes, I mean, if you want to pay for 6 months, you're gonna get the service for 6 months. It's pay as you go, pretty much. Why? Because we know those needs. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Rodrigo. I have a question about how many other developments have you done this kind of installation and provided this service for?
Okay, right now we're working pretty much in Baja California with the Congress, with government, with one of the 24 diputados or congressmen, bringing services to public areas down in Tecate right now, and we're expanding with some other services through them. So they want to bring the community free internet access. So we're using the same technology, but they have the budgets for 3 years. So we install the service, and we have a free service for those communities that they don't have access to high-speed internet. So pretty much our clients right now is government, and we are trying to open out this part of the business dedicated to resident service. And that's why we want to open an exclusive office here and be exclusive for you guys. Yes, sir.
Those of us that have brought phone numbers down from the United States because we do business from here, are you going to be able to handle that type of business where we can keep our U.S. phone numbers?
Yes, we can migrate, we can have your phone number changed for service. I think it's just a form that we have to fill out, and you have to sign out the permit, and we send it over, and we send you out with your same phone number. Yes. Yes.
On our TV system, we have a TiVo, which means we can be called to and watch one program at the same time. We never really watch TV. We record everything that was.
Okay.
And is this system going to be able to do the same thing?
Yes, I mean, this system is a combination in between Live TV and TiVo and why? Because you can access to content anytime. You can pause it, you can come back again, you can watch it. I mean, there are more than, I don't know, 10,000 movies and series. And they're pretty much new content. It's available pretty much every week. So I'm not gonna tell you that they are all the series and the movies, but the recent ones and the most popular, we have access to those. So you don't have to record it because it's already there, and you can just access the content as many times as you want.
Do you have all the channels like that we currently have, like 2 and 7 and I mean, all that CBS, NBC, all of that?
Yes, again, we're gonna power the demo outside, so anybody, if you want to see how the system works, the entertainment part, you can see it here. Again, we have some issues with the internet connection, so you can pause the system. So that's why we're here, so please understand this if something happens. Yes.
How do we know that you're going to be here this year and gone the next one?
Well, I mean, we never know when we're gonna die, so that's the only way that we'll go away. No, we hire especially technician, especially we like with background in the army because they specialize only in one profession. If we have somebody working in communication, it's just communication. So here we'll hire the people and they will be working here. So our company right now, it's a...
How big is your company? If you are the president and the owner, you are hiring contractors and
Well,
whatever.
I'm working for my mom. She's the president.
Oh, okay. So she's the
I'm
president.
just the one working. She wants to just lay back.
It's a family business.
It's a family business. We employ about 20 people. And we don't need that much people. Why? Because we only service pretty much antennas as we go and our services. But here we will have at least 20 to 30 people just working along the maintenance, installations, and services. We established our company in 2010. Since then, we have been working in these projects, but we have been trying to move into having exclusive clients.
That's not my question.
Yeah.
I was asking, okay, so you have a company,
Yes.
and you said you are currently working with the Senate, right? Do you have an office over
Yes,
there?
we have an office down in Mexicali, in Calle Novena.
So you are several offices? I mean,
No, one office in Mexicali,
in one year?
and we're gonna open one here. We're gonna be located across the street. Yes.
And you are the only jefe with your mom and your dad?
Right now, yes. My dad passed away in 2007.
Okay, with your mom.
Yes, that's it. The decisions are just.
My
here.
question is, how long, I mean, how do we know, how do I know that if I pay $400 for installation, you're not gone next year?
I mean, that's.
I mean, this happens a lot of times.
Yeah, I know, and
People
that's
come
right.
and they get our money and then they're gone, right? So I'm just trying to find out.
No, I mean, we are into an agreement with the office that we're gonna lease. We're gonna lease a few homes here. I'm gonna live here for a few days of the week. I'm bringing my family. I have 2 kids, so one newborn 2 weeks ago, so we're going over. We just want to service you. We want to have the warranty with the first month money back warranty and pay as you go. So
this $365 installation fee, how many people are going to be required to participate? What if my neighbor doesn't want to participate?
that's fine. We only need groups of 100 people. To escalate in groups of 100 people. Yes, so I mean, 100 people from the last house down Las Ventanas to the home here on the corner. Because the system is going to cover pretty much the entire Las Ventanas and El Ranch. So again, your neighbor, I mean, if he doesn't have to sign up. Groups, yes, groups of 100 people so we can escalate the service all the way from Mexicali and begin installations.
My question is, will the internet high speed will be fast enough to accommodate day trades and also connect to the stock market?
It will be. Why? Because we're using a dedicated service, the one that uses banking down in here in Mexico, banking, gas stations, hospitals. So we rely into this structure to have a 24/7 service. I mean, there can be a breakup, we don't know, but what we know is that we can fix it is if we're here. I mean, we have pretty much a response time less than an hour, so we can be anywhere 30 minutes here locally.
Well, the stock market is instant day trade.
Yes.
So you need to be able to get on and off and not have a delayed.
I fully understand that because 8 years ago I used to do Forex, foreign exchange, with FXCM banking in New York through my platform and data. You're trading and then you go offline and you lose money. So yes, we know that is very important for trading and even though for your day-to-day services, for Skyping, for calling, for working. So you have a strong connection. Yes, the question is yes. You can be trading and that's why the difference in the systems. Okay. Any questions there?
Marta.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is there an extra fee or an extra charge if you have more than one television? Say you have 3 televisions in your house, you need 3 modems?
Yeah, not modems. You will need another 2 or 3 boxes of the stream boxes.
Is there an extra fee for that?
Yes, I mean the boxes, depending on the needs, we will see, but it will not be. It will just be a small fee just to cover those extra boxes. But again, that we will study the specific needs of every resident. But yes. Yes. Any other question?
Yes. You discussed speeds, and the speeds more so like internet speeds. You talked about infrastructure.
Yes.
Within the ranch. What you really have to discuss is the infrastructure between here and wherever your hub or uplink is going to be. So I'm assuming you're going to build some kind of a hub here, and then you also have a path from here back. You said back all the way back to Mexicali.
Yes.
So there's no uplink here. The uplink is in Mexicali or is it in the States?
No, the company is from the States. They come along in Mexicali, and we route the service there by antenna. We send it over, actually from the part of the airport down in Mexicali.
Okay, so again, what I'm looking at here, you keep discussing speeds, but the speeds could be great here within the ranch from an internet standpoint, but the bottleneck could be between here and the uplink, which you're really not kind of discussing. Who owns that uplink, and what are the speeds guaranteed between those 2 locations if you strictly go, you call it an air fiber, I'm assuming it's like,
yes,
realistically.
we are using Ubiquiti. That's the company, and the antennas can hold up to 1.2 gigabytes.
That's uplink. What about from there to here?
We don't have any loss of the connection because the antennas are GPS oriented. I mean, that's why.
Rodrigo, I see you have three elements up here, the high-speed internet, the phone, and then the TV entertainment.
Yes.
If an owner is interested in maybe the first two items, but are not interested in the entertainment change, is there a possibility that you are offering, I'll say, partial packages or package options that could include all three, or maybe just two?
Not at this time, because financially and with the tech equipment that we're using, this is how we can cover the needs of most of the clients. So everybody's going with these services, so that's why we need to structure the equipment that we're gonna use, the cycle of replacement that we're gonna have with you guys, so you can always have new equipment, and that's how we structure this equipment based the needs of the residents, most of the residents. Yes. Go ahead.
You were talking about the groups of 100. You were talking about the groups of 100, and El Dorado Ranch is divided into separate communities. And does that mean that each community has to have 100?
I don't see you were. Oh, there. Yeah, again.
El Dorado Ranch has several, it's divided up into two communities. So does each community have to have 100 to be able to get the service?
No, you can be from the community across the street or here or the other one, and we can service very much the all three with the same system. Yes, sir.
This 100 people that you need, say you get 100 folks signed up, they got their service. Say I'm 101. How long do I have to wait?
I mean,
99 other people to sign up.
I mean, that's in between you guys. I'm here to assist you. I mean, if we communicate this to the whole residents and you guys get together, after we pass 500 users, maybe we can go on blocks of 50 people and so on. But it's up to you. I'm here to help. I'm here to visit. I'm here to give you the information. But I think you can organize as a community, and that's the way that we found out, so we can cover the infrastructure cost. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Does the installation fee stay with the property? God forbid, when I die, I've paid it once. Does somebody who comes along into my house pay it again?
No, because once we give you the equipment and the installation, and you have a recurrent billing, you can keep the equipment and we can renew it as soon as something new becomes available. So that's why it's just one fee. We're not gonna be selling you any more modems or equipment. With that same fee, we're gonna be replacing equipment as it becomes new technology available. You don't have to pay extra for that.
Okay, one more question then.
Yes.
Where is the entertainment feed coming from? Currently, we can get either San Diego feed, or Los Angeles feed, or Arizona. Where is the entertainment feed coming from?
It's streaming through the internet, so you access that content through the internet, through that device. It's pretty much a small computer. That's what it's a stream box. So that's how you get it from different providers through one device. No, you'll get the national ones. The national ones, and there's a few local channels as well. Yes, sir.
Within the ranch geography, are your signal transfers going to use the El Dorado infrastructure, underground infrastructure that's already in place?
No. The content comes through the air. We receive that at the office. We're going to set up an antenna there. And from there we have the servers. And from there we send that direct link to your home straight. There's nothing on the ground.
And that's air?
Yes. I think there are more than 120 around that.
within the next week, we get 100 people to sign up, how long before?
It will take us for the first installation to set up the links down in Mexicali 4 to 6 weeks. So we have everything in place.
Already sign up if anyone else is.
Yes?
Couple questions. I'm still a little confused between, you had like option one, 4,000 some odd dollars each for high-speed internet via fiber optic. And then you had air optic at 1,620 each, whatever, and now we've got this at 365. So there must be inherent differences there, and if I understand it right, it's because this one is using existing infrastructure, and it's strictly streaming internet, so there are certain live shows that don't stream at the same time, so we wouldn't get those, we'd get them delayed as streaming, and we would have any and all current issues that streaming currently has, which I guess your speed can help. But am I understanding that right? That here you're not actually supplying something new in terms of infrastructure. You're just taking existing infrastructure and streaming it out to our individual homes via a dish that you put in, and of course your box. Is that
No, I mean, we are setting up heavy infrastructure on the hardware because we have to set up the antenna down by the airport in Mexicali. Full antenna, hardware, I mean, it's pretty much a building. And from there, we have to do the same here. We have to set up all the servers and pretty much all the computers to route the services, and it's brand new infrastructure to give the service. So the only existing infrastructure will be the office that we're gonna use for this time.
Okay, if enough of us get onto this and we're all happy and you see that it works, maybe at some point you would make the investment to put fiber optic in the ground and we can upgrade to that? Is that kind of the long-range plan, or are you planning on keeping it as streaming?
It's not, we don't have a return of investments with the fiber optic, but if we grow into the residents, I know that you guys have plans for opening more lots, for bringing more residents. We may have another study to see if we can afford it, but I'm not saying yes, I'm saying no right now, but we're open. We're open to see if we can set it up with if the community keeps growing. So to answer your question. Yes, sir.
Will there be HBO, Showtime, ads, and sports packages?
Yes, sir. You can check the demo later on today. Yes, ma'am.
Will the high winds that we get here affect how sturdy are these antennas on our roofs or yours?
No, because we are monitoring the antennas. They are calibrated by GPS, so we access the system, and the wind, it doesn't do anything very much to the signal. And that's why we have 24/7 people working along overseeing the transmission.
So I don't mean to cut this off, but we do have one other meeting.
Yes.
And Rodrigo, thank you. But you're still available. You're here on Saturday and so.
Yes, we'll be here all the way to Saturday, and we can answer every single question. We can show you the demo and answer any questions that you will have. We'll be here at this time, and then we'll be moving to the office in the next 2 weeks.
Make sure they have your website so if they want to download the presentation.
Sure. I'm gonna see if I can set it up here, so I just leave it here. Are you guys gonna use this wall? No. All right. I'll just set it up here, and you'll see the website there. All right. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.